Everyone, welcome to another maths video by Maths with Sarah. So today we're going to be taking a look at this shape question that comes from a paper 2. It's actually on both foundation and higher papers, this question. And so you've been given the equation to work out the volume of a sphere, and you've been given the diagram of a hemisphere with a radius of 30 centimeters. You've then been told how quickly sand fills the container and then asked to work out whether it takes less than a quarter of an hour to fill the container. Okay, so as with all these questions, this is definitely a little bit of a challenge, I think. There's definitely multiple steps involved in this question. So as with all these questions, I encourage you to pause the video, have a go yourself, or at least think about what method you would use, and then check back and I'll go through the question. Okay, let's get started then. So this question, we've been given the volume of a sphere. So we've been given the equation for that, which is very nice of them. And we've been told that we've got this hemisphere with a radius of 30 centimeters. So remember, the radius goes from the center of the circle to the outside of the circle. And we know that this is 30 centimeters. So we know that sand fills the container at a rate of 4,000 centimeters cubed per minute. So what we need to be doing is calculating the volume of this hemisphere. So if we want to know the volume of the total sphere, that would be like if this came all the way up around the top, made a full ball, then that will be the volume of the whole sphere. So what we need to remember to do is we need to take this equation, but then at the end we need to divide our answer by 2, because we've only got half of the sphere. Okay, so let's put in some of the numbers. So we've got 4/3 times by pi. Oh, that's a very funny pi sign. Times by pi times by the radius cubed. So if we put in the numbers that we know, we've got 4/3 times by pi times by 30 cubed. So because we have 30 cubed, we know that this number is going to come, that when you put this into your calculator, it's going to come up with a huge number. But that's fine. And what we need to remember to do at the end is to divide this whole thing by 2. Now, it's up to you how you put this into your calculator. So I did it in little bits. So I put 30 cubed in first, then I times it by pi, then I times it by 4, divided it by 3, and then eventually divided it by 3 again. But no matter how you do it, whatever order you put this into your calculator, you should end up getting the answer as being 56,548.6678. That's rounded a little bit. And this will be in centimeters cubed, which luckily is the same as the rate of filling that we've been given here. So I would encourage you to leave this end value here on your calculator screen, so that then you can carry on using it rather than rounding it here, because then it just gives you a slightly more accurate number or answer. Okay, so what do we need to do now? We know that we've got the volume of this hemisphere is 56,548, and we've been told that sand fills the container at a rate of 4,000 centimeters cubed per minute. So what we need to do is do 56,548 and all the decimal places divided by 4,000. And that's going to tell us how many minutes it takes to fill this hemisphere container. Okay, so if we do that math, if you pop it into your calculator, you'll end up with 14.14 minutes. Now, the question that we have been asked is, does it take less than a quarter of an hour to fill the container? Now, a quarter of an hour is 15 minutes, so a full hour has 60 minutes, so a quarter of an hour has 15 minutes. So in that case, the answer is yes, it does take less than 15 minutes or less than a quarter of an hour to fill this total container. Okay, so quite a lot of steps there and quite a lot of different bits that you needed to know or do. So luckily we've been given the volume of the sphere, but you then have to remember to divide that by 2 to work out the volume of the hemisphere. You then need to divide it by 4,000 to work out how many minutes it takes. And then you need to know that that is less than a quarter of an hour. So definitely not an easy question. Well done if you managed to figure it all out without any help. But absolutely, if you needed this working through, then I do not blame you. There are many other questions on my YouTube channel, which are similar to this one. So multi-step questions, lots to do with shape as well, and area and volume. So I will tag them in this video, and I really encourage you to check them out if you maybe found this one a little bit of a challenge. Hopefully I'll see you again soon on another video by Maths with Sarah.